We have a packed episode today, guys, so stay tuned.
Hello and welcome to The Tech Boy, This Week in Tech podcast.
All right, there we go. Hello and welcome to the This Week in the Tech Boy podcast. I promised you guys that I would talk about, there we go, nice and green, my security, but astute viewers of the Tech Boy probably noticed that the Tech Boy has switched to a new site layout. I hope you like the theme. We're probably about 90% functionality. We have most of our post up here on mobile. You get a nice hamburger menu to see here, and if you want to see the rest of the pages, it's probably here. And we're going to keep iterating over this, so we still keep on Steam, but we know we redesigned to make the website look less kind of bulky and more fluid in design, and kind of reminds me of the new Not to Be design. So great work. Anyway, lots have happened in tech. Peter tried to rewrite the Bible with the ChatGPT. Google released their new phones with the Google Pixel 7a and the Google Pixel Fold, and the Samsung Galaxy A54. I think the price dropped according to Tech Odyssey. Also, Samsung. No, it's not Samsung. What was I going to say? Oh yeah. I also released my new article on AI and how it's not going to take over the world. We'll see if you believe me or if you don't. But first, let's talk about my security. Like I promised you I would in the last episode. So this is just a browser window here. See, it's just browser. So I'm going to switch my screen to show you guys. There we go. The full browser. So the whole screen. Like the little window. All right, here you go. You can actually see what I'm looking at right now. This is my website, thetechboy.org, but I want to show you some Chrome extensions that I use to keep my device safe. All right, so Guardio. Guardio is an extension that prevents you from connecting to weird websites and etc. I also have Malwarebytes, which comes with the Malwarebytes software on there. I didn't get Surfshark VPN. I don't know how that got there. Anyway, so those are the extensions that I have to keep my browser safe and not get hijacked by beef. We're still working on that, but I have a special episode which is going to show you. You're going to see it later in the description today. All right. Now, hopefully you can still see my screen. I'm going to show what's on my desktop computer. So right now you can't see me, but I'm going to show the antiviruses that I use is AVG antivirus, and the Malwarebytes app, plus Avast One. Avast One is software that lets you, has a free VPN, so I'm going to actually show what Avast One looks like right now. And AVG is just regular, typical antivirus. Okay. Here it is, Avast One. Okay, so since I live in Houston, Texas, the closest Avast One VPN is in Miami. So that's the one that's going to be that I'm going to be using. If I turn it on or off, right? I get 5 gigabytes per week. And then if you pay for all of this, which I don't, you'll get extra functionality, file shield, more VPN firewalls, and it can also quarantine apps for free. And it can also inspect your network, which I don't do. What I do use to inspect my network is a software called Glasswire. And Glasswire just tells you what software is connected to the internet and which IPs are connecting to. So if you had a virus that somehow got into your computer, it would tell you, oh, look, there's a command and control server coming up that's controlling your computer. So I think that's really important. I think that keeping yourself and your devices safe is really important, especially in this current landscape where we have cyber attacks all the time. But I really want to get into this PETA story. PETA has allegedly rewritten the Bible using ChatGPT. That's, if true, is really, really important. All right. So according to my PETA story, originally reported on Not Being, PETA is practically begging for God's wrath using ChatGPT to rewrite Genesis. ChatGPT is software. It's an AI tool that allows you to write stuff, and they somehow like took ChatGPT and put in like the chapter Genesis, like I don't know Genesis, and then they rewrote it so that everyone's like nice to animals and whatever. But this really messes with timelines in the Bible. It's not like, oh, it's just a little translation. Especially in Genesis 22, where Abraham, instead of sacrificing the lamb, he makes friends with the lamb, which is weird and also wrong. And like God's not happy. And they're also selling these online, so that's not good. That is just not good. So do you think? I don't know if Peter's gonna go further because there's lots of animal sacrificing in the Bible. So it's gonna radically change the Bible and change it vegan. That's just not good, and they should not do that. All right, but off the heels of that story, you may think that, oh, AI is going to take over the world, but nope, it's not going to take over the world because I say it's just a tool, and it's just not going to be a robot revolution. And I know some of you guys may not believe me, but if you think about it, over the vast period of time, we have the steam engine, we have skyscrapers, we have ships. They all help make things shorter. Then we have computers, rockets, and the internet. These help make civilization forward. They push communication faster. And right now, AI only works with usually with the internet. Large data sets can't just be stored on your phone or on like some random SSD. So they have to use the internet. So if AI were to take over the world, right, then you could just pull the plug. And while you may say, oh guys, look, AI may cut 80% of jobs in this sector, which may or may not be true. I'm not making any arguments for or against that. Every time new technology has come, like how the airplane replaced transatlantic travel via ships, like how the internet replaced like people doing research in libraries, and didn't really replace librarians, but probably lowered the number of that. How computers replaced like person computers, like doing the math in their head and on paper, computers and calculators replaced them. And just like how the steam engine and trains replaced families working together but one by one, weaving cloth by themselves into the factory system, which built modern civilization, which we have today, right? Yes, all these things replace jobs, but now computers and factories have created new jobs. Jobs aren't just going to be destroyed by AI. Just like computers replace human computers, now we have totally new job fields like YouTubing, blogging, coding, etc. AI could just radically change coding. It can make it easier, faster, more efficient. But I'm pretty sure it's not going to replace coding. Someone's always going to have to be coding AI. So it may even just change the job a little bit. Also, AI may introduce new jobs that we haven't seen yet. Maybe AI manager or AI data set analysis or something like that. I don't know. But I'm saying, look, AIs will probably create new jobs. And just in this sentence here, quote, in the 20th century, people were scared the world would end via nukes and the YK2 bug. This may be our 21st century scale. In the 19th century, people were afraid change would suffocate them, but they did not. Progress is coming, and people are scared right now. But I'm pretty sure in 10 or 20 years, it's probably not going to take over and rule the world or whatever. And for our last story of this week, before we jump into Google I/O releasing the Pixel 7a, we talk about the extreme skins for S22 Plus review. So I finally did it. I got my extreme skin. I reviewed it. I wore it for months, and I say it's pretty durable. Just be careful when you're installing it, and you'll be good. It feels nice. The S22 Plus does tend to overheat, but this doesn't really contribute that much to it. So basically, Samsung and Extreme Skins, nice, go hand in hand. They do good skins. They have skins for Apple, Samsung, Google, Vivo, OnePlus. So they do skins for most of the companies out there, and they don't hate their customers like that other skin. What are they like? That other skin company. Anyway, before we move on to our Google Pixel story, I want to show you this short video. Yes. And you'll send the pictures over?
Excellent. All right, let's do some programming.
All right, that was a clip from my short movie, which will be linked in the description of the thing below, of the description of this video below. But
Yes.
I'm
And you'll send the pictures over? Excellent. All right, let's do some programming.
all right. If, as you can see in that clip, there's a software you called Stormbreaker in there, which is real software. I actually used real software and recorded off of this thing, off of my phone and computer using actual software. And Stormbreaker is just a phishing tool where if you send someone a link and they give access to location, you can get their location and yeah. So you can get their location on the phone or even on a desktop computer. Now there is some finickiness using ngrok, because ngrok's gonna be like, oh, this is not secure, or you have to click this to continue or whatever, just for first time people who click the link. But if you're able to get someone to click the link, you'll be able to get their location using Stormbreaker. And it was kind of hard to install a little bit, but using WSL2 and my Windows terminal, you can see that. And you can see more of how it's used with a slight tweaking of editing. I edited the coordinates there so I wouldn't, dox myself and to make the jokes a little bit funnier. So I wouldn't dox myself and make the jokes a little bit funnier. But the software is real. You can see it there in use and how it's actually used. Okay, I'll link it to the channel and the video in the description below. I told you guys this would be a packed episode, but now let's talk about the Google Pixel 7a series and the Sony 1 Mark 5.
Hello.
Oops. All right. First, jumping into the Pixel 7a, it looks like a nice upgrade over the 6a. It has wireless charging and a 90 Hz display screen, which is probably noticeable because people at my school were able to notice the 60 and 120 Hz jump from my Samsung phone. I usually keep it locked at 60 Hz on power saving mode, super dim. I like to conserve battery. But for those who don't, there's a 90 Hz mode, no telephoto, but there is wireless charging. Same 6.1 inch screen, and people are actually comparing it to the 7, which makes sense. It has about the same cameras. I think the 7's cameras are better, but it has a 64 megapixel sensor. You get all the googly AI features. I think Google said it was like 85% of the Pixel 7 for 85% of the price, but the Pixel 7 is now cheaper than it because the Pixel 7's been on sale. So would I recommend the Pixel 7a? Probably. No, it does have a smaller screen, 6.1 inches, so it's okay. But I mean, it has the Tensor G2 chip. It has the nice AI features. We'll get 3 years of software updates. I was reading a Sam Mobile article saying that the Samsung A54 will get 4 years of software updates. It's going to go from 13 to 17. But per Tech Odyssey, it's kind of laggy. The Exynos chip in there isn't that good. But you do get a bigger screen, more software updates, and then you also get the nice Samsung features and software that comes along with it. You got Bixby, no DeX, but you also get secure folder and Samsung's camera, which is kind of laggy, but does have extra features. I think this one may have fun mode. I'm not sure, but there's that. Now on the more expensive spectrum, but actually they did a price drop. Sony unveiled the Sony 1 Mark 5, which looks to be like a nice phone. So last year, the 1 Mark 4 had some heat management issues with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 chip. They fixed this with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chip, and also put some more in apps and services. Pull one back now, the camera and video apps are different, but they also have focus peaking, some type of eye tracking focus, and what else? What was it? Some new focus, like just new focus systems all around. So it's upgraded as better internals. It still has the same size and 21.9. I think it probably still has a 4K display. So has the bezels, so no hole punch, and still has micro SD and headphone jack. And speaking of bezels, but no micro SD or headphone jack, Google also launched the Pixel Fold. So I'm going to be very careful here because I don't want to get blocked. The Pixel Fold has bezels, okay, unlike that kind of don't look that good, but the bezels allegedly hold the components for the selfie camera, which I'll put Mr. Sabas is better than Samsung's under display selfie camera. The Pixel Fold also has a better aspect ratio, so wider but shorter 5.8-inch screen on the outside than the Galaxy Z Fold, and it also has a interesting hinge mechanism that makes it 12.9 inches, not inches, millimeters when closed. So that's interesting right there, which is better than Samsung. And it's almost as thin as the thinnest foldable in the world. Now, this folder was made by Google. It's running Pixel UI. It has like a 120 hertz screen. It has a 5x periscope telephotos camera. No status support. No external monitor video support right there. So this foldable seems more, I don't know, more like a fun foldable. Like, yes, it's for getting work done, and it has all the googly apps, Docs, Drive, etc. But no video out, no stylus. Seems like Google's not really trying to like make Samsung mad, but it's good competition for Samsung. It's not going to be the same old, oh guys, look, here's what foldable do we recommend for you. There's only one foldable that's sold in the US. It's obviously the Galaxy Z Fold. I don't want to hear about some random Vivo that you imported from like China to then you have to buy some random sim. No one's going to do that. Anyway, I got a nice chance to interview Zeb Boykin on YouTube. So let's check out that interview. Zeb Boykin talked about digital displays with me last week, and I uploaded it like a couple days ago. I think it was Thursday. So it's called Digital Displays with Zeb Boykin. Let's just have a look. And welcome to this video. This is the Tech Boy, and this is Zeb Boykin. And today we're going to be talking about digital signage and displays. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Zeb Boykin. I have my own YouTube channel, and not really related to tech, but this is what we do. This is what I do. We founded a business. We do digital signage, and it runs off of Raspberry Pis.
So if you want to hear more about Zeb Boykin's business and how he runs things off of Raspberry Pi, I didn't even show it. No, all right, there we go. Anyway, if you want to hear more about Zeb Boykin's business and how he runs things off of Raspberry Pis and digital signage and how the digital signage ad economy works, check out this video, Digital Displays with Zeb Boykin. Make sure to give it a share and a like. And let's see if we can get to 120 subscribers by the end of this premiere. All right. Let's see, we talked about Google, we talked about Zeb, we talked about all the other techie things that we're going to talk about. But there's one more thing that I would like to talk about, and that would be how you're able to create TI games using ChatGPT. Now, my TI cable was broken, so I wasn't able to transfer the game. And I tried to emulate it on an app, but that didn't work. But I'm going to try to see if there's a TI basic emulator on the web. And we're going to do that right now. All right, hopefully you guys can see my screen. I'm not making that mistake again. There you go. We're going to do TI basic emulator, and I want to copy and paste my code from ChatGPT and Google Bard. See if the games work. I was watching a really interesting video about ChatGPT. All right, here we go. Here's an emulator for. Here we go. New file. I'm doing a TI Basics program. So I'm going to go to ChatGPT, and I'm going to copy and paste the code that I emulated. It even took out the little colons for me, so that's nice. So I'm going to open AI. I also was able to test out some new ChatGPT apps. They only let me do 3 chats, so it's easier just to go to the ChatGPT website on your phone. What do you guys think about ChatGPT apps and GPT being integrated into Snapchat? All right, I'm going to give my take here. It's kind of like Replica, my AI friend, and Snapchat being your AI friend. I'm in the minority, and a Brett Cooper poll is 93 to 7% about people thinking the ChatGPT integration into Snapchat was weird. I think it's interesting. It keeps you on your phone longer, which is good for Snapchat, which is kind of a dying program. Or it's not Snapchat, but Snap, the company, which is kind of a dying platform. And you may say, "Oh, look, you're on your phone longer. That's so bad." But like, the company's gonna make money somehow. Like, if you don't want to be on the phone, just don't be on it. Like, and no one's forcing you to do the Snap app. So, I mean, I'm fine with that. All right, so I'm copying the code without colons into the software. Tried it on my phone. Let's see if we can get it. Right, here we go. Copy and paste. Hopefully you guys can see this code. Right. Test, I think. Wait, let's do check. Oh, let's give it a name. Let's call it a game. Oh, let's do test. Right. It's called Game XP. So now I'm going to go back to the thing, upload the file, which is another gripe I have with Edge. Instead of having a nice little downloads bar, like see where my cursor is down here, where you can just drag and drop the download up, it's up here somewhere, but then it goes away sometimes. So that's one of the problems I also have with Edge. Another problem is in Chrome there'd be a nice little arrow right here where you could search. Unfortunately, you can't see this, but it's like towards the far right end of the like where the minimize and maximize buttons are. There was a little arrow that would you could search throughout your tabs. So maybe Chrome has a little bit catching up to do. And while that's happening, I'm uploading the game and it's still here. Let's see if I can play. It's not working, so we're going to leave this site and see. And if you guys have any other tips on this, or maybe you can send me a new GoPro slash GoPro slash TI charger, that would be nice. Anyway, back to me. We're going to be talking about Samsung's Galaxy A54 now. Now, Samsung Galaxy A54 is an interesting device, to say the least. It has a big screen, but it has kind of like a pretty bad chip. And I know I've already said this, but Samsung really needs to step up in the mid-range department. Like, Samsung could just do better, step up in the mid-range department, do what Google's doing, and people really like the devices. I like to see a stylus-enabled mid-range device like Motorola, especially now that you can get the Motorola Edge Plus. It was a really bad naming scheme. 2022 for the $400 now, which is really, really good. And that's basically all. I just have one more thing I want to show you. And I've broken another record with TechBoy again. I'm just special like that. Breaking records, more records. Let me just show you. I broke my second Babylon Bee headline. That's right. It's having a hard time loading. Oh, there we go. I broke my second Babylon Bee headline, just like the Spotify one, where I showed you guys how you can get Spotify to play church music when you Oh, there we go. When you come to church or a location, I just did this prophecy again. There we go. Prophecy fulfilled. AI will be totally great for humanity, says man who has never read a sci-fi novel. Yep, that's me. I've never read a sci-fi novel. I mean, does Adventures in Odyssey kind of sci-fi? Novocamp's kind of sci-fi, but it's not reading a sci-fi novel, and I said it's not going to be a threat. So right here, prophecy fulfilled. Come on, put me in the book of prophecy fulfilled by 8 days, crushing prophecies in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Okay, obviously, it's just going to cure cancer and solve world hunger, which is obviously never going to happen. Yeah, well, anyway, I fulfilled a Babylon Bee prophecy. I talk about Google Pixel's device and how it's not work efficient. I talked about new software, well, not new, software called Stormbreaker, and showed off my new satire video, just like the Babylon Bee. We're coming for you. We are coming for you, bees. And remember to cancel the Verge, Tech Talk. Remember to cancel the Verge. God bless, and Tech Talk to you later. And if anyone out there wants to sponsor this show or do video marketing, I'd be totally fine with that. And remember, please tell me if you like this site or you like the old site design. Anyway, thank you. God bless, and Tech Talk to you later.